Live and in color from DFW International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW, your new YouTube channel dedicated to bringing you live action from one of the world's busiest airports. My name is Walt Zwerko, and we're off for another afternoon of fun and entertainment, I hope, here on Runway DFW. Okie dokie. It's Saturday, March 19th, 2022. We are live, and this is going to have to rank as one of the most perfect days for plane spotting. Almost no wind, bright sun, pleasant temperatures. It is great out here, and I'm glad that if you can't be out here in person with us, I just hit my head on the tripod, you can be here virtually on Runway DFW. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's see, we got a plane that's lined up here. It is American Airlines Flight 1256 on its way to Cozumel. It's a 737-823. And let me get things unlocked here so that we can follow along. We had a double header on St. Patrick's Day. We had early morning and then midday activities, and it was not a great day. It was so windy. How windy was it, Walt? It was so windy that we had one person who commented on the broadcast and said it was essentially unwatchable. So I'm going to try to make this one less unwatchable, if possible. So I hope if you saw that presentation and thought it lacking, perhaps today we can make up for it for y'all. So off to Cozumel goes this American Airlines aircraft. You see another one taking off from the east side of the runway in the background there momentarily, just a second ago. For those of you who are new to Runway DFW or to DFW Airport, we've got 3, 4, 5, 7 runways in total here. The primary ones run north and south, and we have 2 north-south runways here on the west side, and 3 parallel north-south runways over yonder on the east side. We can't see the landings and takeoffs over on the east side, but we can see planes coming in and lifting off from behind buildings. So occasionally, if there's an aircraft of interest, we will do that. And there is the east tower of DFW Airport, and behind it you see the skyline of Dallas. So we're happy to welcome all of you aboard. We may be around for a little bit longer than we've been in recent weeks on a Saturday afternoon, simply because we get an extra hour of daylight. Here comes American Eagle Flight 5782. It's coming in from Pensacola, Florida. And again, if you're new to Runway DFW or to DFW Airport, you'll notice, Walt, or you may have a question, Walt, why are there so many American Airlines aircraft? And that's because American pretty much dominates this here facility. They take up about 85% of the passenger traffic. So you're going to see a lot of American and a lot of American Eagle aircraft of various sizes and types. And there's an Embraer 175. Am I right? Yes. conditions are pretty good. As this plane lifts off the runway, it's about 2 miles from where we are located. So on an afternoon like this, when there's a lot of heat haze in the air, it gets a little fuzzy by the time we get fully zoomed in. We have a nice crowd here at DFW Founders Plaza. These folks in the foreground have found some nice shade. I probably would have parked there myself if they hadn't been there. I didn't want to get in the way. And we've got kids, we've got other people. Hey, we have a fan. Can't see him behind that post. Now, I don't know why you would come out here and watch Runway DFW when you could just stand here and look at planes in person, but that's a choice some people make. So anyway, hello to everybody. We've got apparently a new member from the UK, David Kavanagh, subscribed to our channel. And again, a subscription on YouTube, as I'm sure David knows, is not involve any financial commitments. All you got to do is sign up, and you can be a part of the chat. YouTube doesn't send you a bill. I don't send you a bill. It's totally free. So welcome to you, David. I guess it's evening there, yes. I see a lot of regulars here today, and we're so glad to have you all aboard. I was mentioning earlier that we were here on Thursday, St. Patrick's Day, and we were here in the morning and the afternoon, and it was just as windy as I've ever seen it here before, especially in the afternoon. And it was really unwatchable, I'll have to admit that, but we had a little fun. We're going to look across the way now at this aircraft coming in. I haven't been able to pinpoint it on my radar yet. It does fly the American colors though, coming in on the east side. Generally speaking, the east side arrivals and departures are headed towards eastern destinations, although as we saw with our first arrival, I think it was, coming in from Pensacola, Florida, which is to the east of us, the flight controllers directed it over here. So much for that, right? This is American Flight 1870 on its way to Eagle, Colorado on Runway DFW. This is really San Diego weather. Yeah, well, we're getting a bit of a wind, just a tad. Let me deviate here for a second. I'll give you an example though. This flag here, and this is a giant, you see the radar tower there, that's a giant flag. On Thursday, it was pointing straight to the north. That would be to the left of the screen, as though it was starch. Those had been starched. And today it's just kind of hanging there. Let's go back to this A319, I believe it is, on its way to Eagle, Colorado, and taking off on runway 18 left. The arrivals here are typically on 18 right, when the operations are coming in from, when the wind is blowing from the south, I should say, which it is most of the year. We had a chart and a graph maybe a month ago, which I found, which reflected that, yeah, most of the year, the operations are coming in from the north. Flights are landing from the north, which is better for us because we get to see them land right in front of us as opposed to the other end of the runway, which, as I said, is 2 miles away. Here's a emergency vehicle returning to its base over here. Perhaps I had been doing some training. There is a fire training facility here on the west side of the airport. Occasionally you'll see some big black smoke rising from it, and you know, there's nothing that sends a shockwave through your soul than to see black smoke in the vicinity of an airport. But you know, they've got to train for any eventuality, and they're going to have, and to be able to utilize their equipment, they're going to have to be here at the airport. So you see another plane taking off from the east side as we watch this one going off here from the west. I believe this is headed out to, I want to say, well, it's either Las Vegas or Los Angeles. I couldn't see the final letter of the designation on my flight radar screen here. So stand by and I will get you filled in on that. Actually, that was going to Puerto Vallarta. That was American Flight 1467. This is the Los Angeles flight, Flight 2459. And it's going to go out as there's an incoming American Airlines Flight 1534 from Ontario, California. So we may get a little double play action here. Still a bit off, and this one is rolling, so we'll see what happens. Our Flip Clock 79 is operational today. It's in 24-hour time, and this is a central time zone of the USA. And here comes the flight from Ontario. You can hear it, and you'll see it in just a second as we try to include both of them in our presentation. There it goes. I have to say I over-zoomed a bit there. Brad Ward, the executive producer of Airline Videos Live, is here with us this afternoon. He is a fan of the A321neo. So all of you feel free to express your appreciation for all the different aircraft you're about to see this afternoon, and probably some of them you won't be seeing. There's no, we don't have any Queens of the Sky on the property right now, at least that I can see. There may be something parked over in the cargo area. That's not UPS. UPS doesn't have one out here right now. But typically later in the afternoon we'll see one either coming or going, and if not more than one, and perhaps we'll be here, because we'll be here a little later, maybe we'll get to see two. But I know one of the first questions that a lot of airline or aviation enthusiasts have is, well, are we going to see an A380 this afternoon on Runway DFW? And regrettably, we are not. That aircraft is not flown to this airport currently. We're going to have to wait, unless there's some kind of an emergency situation, until July 1st, when British Airways begins service from London with one of its A380s. And I'm really looking forward to that, and we're definitely making plans to be here when that occurs. I know it's a regular feature some other airports, but this one not currently. We haven't had 380 service since Qantas suspended its flights from Sydney at the beginning of the pandemic. Qantas has since resumed its service to DFW, but using a Dreamliner. Let's see what we got coming in here. It's a 737, it's American Airlines. I believe this is one of the many flights to and from Los Cabos in Mexico. And next up on the flight line is American Flight 38 something or other, or American Eagle flight, I should say. There is a difference. American Eagle 3855 to Lubbock, Texas. A very brief jaunt as far as flights go. One of those flights you get up in the air and then you're descending. Seeing many familiar faces in the chat room this afternoon. We'll try to get to any questions you may have as best we can. Let's see if we've got anything interesting over there at the International Terminal. And if we do, if I can see it on my little 2.5-inch screen here. I think that's an Avianca flight aircraft there. Well, we have American Flight 2783. I say that because the sun is very bright. My phone screen is at maximum intensity, and still it's pretty washed out. But this is a flight headed to Seattle on Runway DFW. Will it take off? Yes, there it is. Off to the left coast. We turn our attention now to Flight 2584, American Airlines.
American 2783,
And this one is headed to San Diego, also out there on the west coast in California, of course. And we will see other airlines today. We should see a British Airways flight from London coming in later this afternoon. We may get a cargo aircraft or two, although they're not quite as common here on the weekends as they are on weekdays. There it goes. We have another American Eagle aircraft for you. The CRJ 701. This one's headed south of the border to Chihuahua in Mexico.
584, good day.
And right behind it will be an American Airlines flight to Monterey, which is a popular destination. I think I read this week that there's an article in the Dallas Morning News about how popular a destination that Monterey is, and I believe the article said that Spirit Airlines was planning on establishing service or re-establishing. I don't know if they've been there before from here. But Spirit Airlines was going to establish a service to Monterey, putting it in competition with American Airlines and I believe Viva Aerobus from this facility. I think Volaris may also fly there. There's a young plane spotter taking in the action. Who needs YouTube when you can sit on the hill here and watch airplanes come and go? So here's the flight to Monterey, flight 1742, American Airlines. I was distracted. There was a bug crawling across the top of my camera, which I had to jettison. Did I see a... Oh yeah, there's a Qatar. I believe that's Qatar. Yeah, that's it there. I didn't see that earlier. Did it just come in? Let's check the videotape. No, I guess it's been there. I just didn't see it. I know there are probably people out there who are interested in Alaska Airlines. And this is special livery. Is this Alaska Airlines? Oh, hold on. No, I'm sorry. That's Delta. Sorry. But it is Delta special livery. Sky Team. Sky Team being one of the airline alliances. American is affiliated with One World. So we see that livery occasionally. I don't think I've seen this one before. I've seen it on streams from other channels like Airline Videos Live. This one's going to Salt Lake City. It's a 737-800 something. Delta Flight 2460. Thanks to all from around the world who have tuned in for our little shindig this afternoon. The other aircraft you hear approaching is American Airlines flight from Mexico City, which we'll shift our attention to momentarily. So there goes the flight to Salt Lake. Here comes the flight from Mexico City. Now, based upon what you've seen so far, you may wonder, oh, are there any wide-body jets over there, Walt? And yes, the answer is yes. We do see a number of 777s and 787s and the occasional A330. This one's going to Calgary A, American 2520, an A319. So we have a little break in the action here, and what I'm going to do now is direct our camera in that area. I'm going to take a pause because, you know what, it's so sunny today, I didn't get a chance to put on my big floppy sun hat today, which I meant to do. So, I'm going to play some cheerful music, and I'll be back momentarily on Runway DFW. That's what I thought it was you. Good to see you. Okay, we're back, and I look a lot stupider now. I've got this big floppy sun hat on, but it helps. So thank you for sticking with us through that pause. Where's my microphone? Oh, no wonder you. Sorry about that. You know, I have to say that one of the cardinal rules of broadcasting is that if you don't put your microphone on, people aren't going to hear you. So let that be a lesson to all you would-be broadcasters. Well, I don't know where that plane was going, but I can tell you that we're about to see, a little bird. was a Pilatus PC, or is it Pilatus? I'm not sure. PC 12/45 coming in from Carlsbad, New Mexico. And looking at here, what are we looking at? Surprise, American Airlines. This is going to be flight 1304 off to Los Cabos on the west coast of Mexico. Getting a little wind here, but it's so pleasant. I'm trying to adjust my cords here so that the string that holds the hat to my head doesn't rub against the microphone.
You were right there. Yeah. There's a bigger one and two little ones.
You can probably hear the young aviation enthusiasts we have alongside us at our viewing spot here at DFW Founders Plaza.
Go down, down, down. Get lower.
A lot of these planes today are using most of the runway. Doesn't always happen.
Look, there's another one taking off in the sky over there.
We've got, it looks like a Gulfstream 4, I think. Some sort of Gulfstream. Let's see if we can see the ID there. N403JS. And I lost track of that momentarily because I see, there it is. I see in the air overhead, at least on radar, the daily flight. I don't know if it's daily, but we see it here on Saturdays, the Lufthansa 747-800 coming in from Frankfurt, and I think I see it. So if we get lucky, you may be able to see the dot in the sky up there. I cannot see it on my viewfinder. Wish I could. Guess if it had contrails, it would be easier to see. This is an exclusive look at the sky from Runway DFW. But take it from me, up there. And again, if you're looking at this on a 65-inch TV set, you may see it up there somewhere. But I'm not finding it. So I apologize for that. Better luck next time. But I did see it with my eye. So we've got a couple flights lined up here. Let me get back to our So we've got a American Eagle flight to Abilene in Texas, which is that one. That's another kind of quick trip. We've got an American flight to, that dropped off the radar, and we also got a Frontier flight going out to Denver in the lineup. Michelle, I couldn't agree more with your sentiments. I hope you will hit the like button if you haven't already. That does help us with YouTube and with helping others discover this channel. To have kind of an alternate view of aviation from here in the central U.S., the south central U.S. I think that little regional jet is getting big-footed by... What's it doing over in that... Was that behind this? Yeah, regional jet was on this side of runway 18 left. I don't know why. Maybe it's headed over to the hangar. This flight's going out to Albuquerque, flight 941 American Airlines. And yeah, we're getting that heat haze way down there. The impressionist look of faraway things. Okay, let's see who we've got on the tail of this Frontier flight here today.
Departure, American 941, good day.
Some sort of wolf, I would say. Let's see if we can read the front of it. Luna and Lily. Yeah, it was last Saturday. We had the mother of a Frontier Airlines member of the cockpit crew, first officer, who was flying out to Las Vegas. And we had a nice chat with her. She got to see her son take off, and then even entered into our chat room there to say hi to everybody. A friend of the channel has pointed out that we are about to see something nice coming in. This will be the flight coming in from Paris. we should see American's return flight to Paris later this afternoon. And I think it's next week that Air France returns to DFW, along with inaugural service from Finnair from Helsinki. So it'll be a big Saturday show if the weather holds out for us. That was American Flight 49, and it's now going to be headed over to the International Terminal D here on the west side. Now, as getting back to this aircraft, don't know what it's doing there. This American Eagle jet. It's kind of between the runways 18 right and left, I believe. I'm wondering about our signal right now. I got a message that I've used 100% of our allocated data, but I did speak with our provider earlier this afternoon, or earlier this morning, about extending our allocation, and I was assured that it would not expire. So I guess if we get cut off, we'll find out. And that American Airlines A319 coming in from Durango, Colorado. I'm getting indications on our streaming software that we may not be getting a very good signal out to you. I still show a 5G signal, but it only shows one bar. So bear with us. These things tend to resolve themselves. American Flight 2357 coming in from the Mile High city of Denver. Now what's going on over here? Is that the plane that was pointing over in this direction and now it's... not sure. In the foreground, it's a flight going out to Cedar Rapids. It's actually a Mesa Airlines operating on behalf of the fine people at American Eagle. And we've got a flight coming in over Highway 121 now from Zihuatanejo, Mexico. 737-800. And that, I think, would be American Airlines Flight 2907, which is headed over the bridge to the east side on its way to Washington National Airport. I believe the official name is Ronald Reagan Airport now. Well, American Flight 2359 coming in now from Denver on Runway DFW. Yeah, and sometimes when you're out at a public facility, a public park, you're going to get a head in the way every now and again. But it appears to be a fellow plane spotter, so we won't be too critical of that. We're probably in the way of some other people. We're talking about the bridge between the east and west sides. There comes a plane coming over from the east side. That one came in from, no, it's going out to Phoenix. So we look at the east tower and the skyline of Dallas behind it. Here comes American Flight 9788 from Phoenix. And hello to all you fine folks joining us this afternoon. I think that's still that American Eagle flight that not showing up on the radar, but it's just kind of parked out there. This happens occasionally with a plane. It taxis out and then it kind of sits there and turns around. Maybe they're having some mechanical issues or waiting for a slot to take off, although it doesn't appear as though there's any issue with that. American Eagle Flight 3881 coming in from Stillwater, Oklahoma. A journey of but 45 minutes. And here are some plane spotters who are truly outstanding in their field, or out sitting in their field, I guess. Coming in from Santa Barbara, it's American Eagle Flight 3779.
American 2907.
What? Another American Airlines flight? Yes, my friends, another American Airlines flight. So it's coming in from Kansas City. And finally, is this flight going to take off, or it's going to head back to the terminal? Doesn't look like it's approaching takeoff velocity, I have to say. So I'm going to have to speculate here that it's not going to be taking off for whatever reason. Landing, however, American Eagle Flight 3660 from Boise and E175. Coming in on runway 18 right on runway DFW. Here's a wide-body plane coming in from Miami on the east side and low. Just barely see the tail. There's the fuselage, and that's about as much as we're going to see of that one. There's American Flight 2821, a 777 from coming in from Miami. Here's American Flight 2659, now departing for Santa Ana, California. MJ Scanlon Photography commenting on the people we saw a little earlier sitting out just to the east of us. There's two of them, then there's a couple more I saw over here who are kind of more under the flight pattern. But he wants them to know that they may get a visit from the local constables if they get a little too close to that fence, and those guys are pretty close to the fence. Now arriving from San Diego, American 2743 on Runway DFW. Well, I hope our signal is acceptable to you guys. I'm only getting, earlier we're getting 1 bar, now we're getting 2, but there are a lot of people out here today, and yeah, all of them are using their phones, so. This American Eagle flight coming in from Aspen on Runway DFW. And I don't know what the weather's like in Aspen right now, but in the sun, we have our little thermometer, but it's been sitting out in the sun, and I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there you go. It's reading 98 degrees. I'll put it in the shade to see what the real temperature is, but it's definitely warm. It's in the 70s, I would say. We've got a Dreamliner on the way in. We'll see it in a minute. It's coming in from Narita Airport in Tokyo. Meanwhile, we'll watch this American Airlines Flight 1832 on its way to Denver on Runway DFW. Raina Taylor is watching an American Airlines flight from Dallas that's just landed at LAX. It's one of the top 3 destinations from here. LAX is. Here's a Dreamliner coming in from Tokyo. American Flight 60. We do get a Japan Airlines flight in here every morning. and we should see it going out this afternoon. Unless they've changed the schedule on me. Chuck, Dreamweaver. Now everybody's going to think of that old 70s song. Those who are old enough. This is Runway DFW is informing me that our signal is suboptimal right now. Those of you in the chat room, let me know if you are seeing the same thing, and if we continue to see that, I may have to restart our phone here, which is supplying our interweb signal. I know that the indication we have from our streaming service is that it's not the best signal. And I haven't run into this we occasionally will have some issues with our signal, and other times it usually goes away after it's usually transitory. So maybe this is more than that. So what I'll do after this takeoff is I'm going to go into reboot mode as far as our signal goes. So let's see what we can do here. We'll point the camera over here. You can see the crowd that's here today at DFW Founders Plaza. Gonna lock it in there. Oh, I'm going to put on some music here, so you don't think we've gone away, which we haven't. And so our picture will go away for a short period of time, and then we'll come back and we'll see if it's any better. So hang on. We'll be right back on Runway DFW. Enjoy this brief musical interlude. I hope it's a brief musical interlude. And we will be back shortly. So stick around and hang in there. have to say that it looks like we're still not getting a really good signal out to you all from our position here at Runway DFW. But in the meantime, we will try to bring you, no matter what the signal looks like to you, we're going to take a picture of American Flight 280. It's a Dreamliner coming in from Seoul, South Korea, on Runway DFW. Another Dreamliner. With that internet outage I had, I've lost temporarily my screen for comments. Let's see if I can restore that. It's not going very well so far. See you all again. Take that out. Let me see if the background music is still playing. I guess it is, so sorry about that. Oh boy. Well, this is what happens on when you consider what we're trying to do to bring live pictures to a global audience from essentially a camcorder and a cell phone. Sometimes things don't work out so well. But we appreciate your sticking with us. Let's take a look across the way here. We've got United Airlines Flight 1893 coming in from Houston Intercontinental. I see it on the radar. Now I see it with my eyes. It's a little further away than I thought. It's in that general vicinity. Oh, there it is. So yeah, it's pretty far away. As I said, it's coming on the east side of DFW, so we'll just see the final moments of its approach. Well, we don't see too many. We see a handful of United flights every day, so we'll just zero in on this one. It's an A319 with not the current livery. We'll see that. The family enjoying this fine sunny afternoon. How's our signal? Any better? Doesn't look any better. So somebody in the chat room was saying hello to Mrs. Runway DFW. I'm glad to see you're getting some recognition finally. Well, there's a lull in the action here. I have headphone and microphone cord conflict going on. Let's see if I can resolve that. Mrs. Runway DFW has implored me to soft pedal what she calls busking for tips and such from our paypal.me/runwaydfw. And I know our UK viewers will be familiar with the term busking. It's when you see usually it's a musical performer in the underground playing a guitar with their case sitting on the floor with their case open and just playing, and people will toss a pound or a shilling in every now and again, and they'll just keep on playing. And so occasionally we will put out the word. We do like to thank our contributors here who have graciously parted with some coin to be a part of our little family here. But you are welcome to hang out with us, whether you make a contribution or not. It's totally free. We're happy to have you with us on Runway DFW. This is our second flight from Eagle, Colorado, or did we see one? We saw one going to Eagle, Colorado earlier. And Wheel in a Chair wants to know if the signal is messed up, and I think it probably is. And I'm sorry for that. We don't appear to have a very good signal today. And I'm hoping it'll clear up. And usually it does, but this has kind of been ongoing. So hang out with us, and if it's watchable or unwatchable, I don't know. 10 minutes from now or so, we'll be seeing the arrival of Qantas Flight 7 from Sydney to Dreamliner.
DFW Tower, American. 2444, 7 miles out, 177.
Yeah, that's always fun to see. We saw the return of Flight 7 last month here was live on Runway DFW. We may have had a better signal at that time. Yeah, I can see that the signal that we have for you here is what do you say, suboptimal. Yeah. We're just not getting the kind of signal we need. do a quick check here. We're going to once again have a musical interlude on Runway DFW while I check our signal, so stand by, hang on. And as George Takei, as George Takei might say, oh my, we have a very slow speed coming in to our connection. And I think, and so what's going to happen here, I think, is that I'm going to, we'll watch the Qantas light come in, and it probably won't look very good, but I'm recording it locally, so at least I'll have a record of it, and maybe we'll put it up on the channel later. But it may be the case that we have to discontinue our little shindig for now, and maybe I'll hang out and try again a little later. But yeah, we're getting a very poor signal, and we haven't had this happen before. I apologize to all our friends, because I was looking forward to a nice long Saturday afternoon of streaming. But again, what we'll do is we'll watch the Qantas light come in. It's still probably about 6 or 7 minutes out. And then we'll turn it off for a little while and get everything cooled off. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a nice clean signal here earlier. We've been, I guess, very lucky with our signal, with only the occasional disruption. See where our Qantas pals are on the map. Oh, okay, I see them now. Qantas is doing about 3 minutes. And I think this is it here. To the left of that. Not the pole, but that. Is that it? I can't tell. Yet. We're looking for a Dreamliner. Not a pole.
Sorry.
Pretty sure that's not it. Well, yeah, definitely not Qantas, but it is United. The new bolder livery. sun has washed out my flight radar 24 screen, so I can't tell you where it's coming from yet. I know better, but every time I see that livery, I think United instead of United for some reason. Maybe it's the way the letters are so bold. But yeah, I can definitely see the lag in our picture, the low resolution in our picture, and that is not good. Not good at all. So I think, let's see, where are we here? This ought to be the flight from Sydney. If the pole doesn't get in the way. Here it is, gleaming in the sun. Probably very pixelated for you all, but well, put another shrimp on the Barbie, because Qantas Flight 7 has arrived. And once again, executive producer Mrs. Runway DFW is alerting me that we're still having a bad signal. And that is going to mean that Runway DFW is going to close down operations for now. What I'm going to try to do is just kind of hang out for maybe an hour or so more. We will we'll keep an eye on our signal and see if we can get back to you with that. And if we do, we'll try to put up a notification, maybe about 15 minutes early, to get you on board with us. And if not, we'll see you soon, probably later this week in the early morning. And so that's it from Runway DFW. We tried our best, but I'm afraid things are not going very well as far as our internet connection goes today. So thanks for coming by. Thanks for trying to stick it out. And if we can, we'll be back in maybe about an hour or so. We'll check our conditions. And if not, we'll see you later this week, live on Runway DFW. Thanks so much for sticking with us. And happy contrails to you until we meet again.